You gotta love the sour diesel. Well, hello, BitMonger family. Hope you guys are all doing well today. And in today's video, I'm going to do a couple things. First, I'm going to address a message that I had where I think there was kind of a disconnect in the message and the idea. And I'm also going to look at why you should be looking at Bitcoin and investing into disruptive tech like I always talk about. So I'll take a quick look at the markets, look at Bitcoin demand issues there, my thesis on that, and some bits and pieces on Tesla and my thesis on that as well, in case you're unaware. So first off, the miscommunication, the message. This is not a matter of trying to get ahead. This is a matter of trying to save your ass. Okay? And there's a difference there. Big difference. You know, I can understand, okay, you're not necessarily wanting to participate to try to make money, but even if you're not doing that, this is a matter of just protecting yourself so you can continue to live the retirement dream or manage the life that you're living today. Because let's face it, we are outsiders. Even if we feel like we're locals and we've been living here, we are not locals, okay, in Southeast Asia. We are Americans, we are Brits, we're Australians, we're whatever, but we are not locals. We won't be considered locals. They're going to have demands for us to meet if we want to stay in the country. Those things can change. And oftentimes, as we know, it's usually financial for the most part. And they're going to want more. So you need to be protecting yourself. And then there's the whole issues of these things right here. Okay? That is scary. Okay, guys? Combine that with this. This is the U.S. debt clout website, but this is global debt, and it is increasing, guys. We can see that we are currently, the United States is at 37 trillion, and we got a 91.66 debt to GDP ratio. This is this column here, the debt to GDP, and you can see it's frightening, guys, especially when we start looking at the larger developed countries in Europe and Japan. I mean, these are getting big. Really big. UK 305, France 270, Italy 130. And this kind of surprised me. I would have thought Italy would have been higher than UK and France, but wow, guys, it is not looking good at all. It is it's not sustainable. And what they're going to do is when they have to repay off this debt, they're going to roll it over, and when they roll it over, they are going to print, and we will get more of this. Okay? We're going to get more of that. It is just our purchasing power. And then the other thing that you need to be thinking about is currency, right? Currency exchange. Yeah, that is a dynamic that you cannot ignore, especially if you're on the edge of, just meeting certain standards. All it takes is for it to dip, a few percent, and you can be, not have enough. And then they could tell you, oh, you no longer qualify. You need to leave. Where do you go from there? It's a scary proposition. So you got to be thinking about this, guys. You really need to. So how am I managing this? Well, you want to be in a hard asset. And I'll tell you right now, this is not a hard asset. When they're debasing it and it's just going to hell, that is not a hard asset. You want to be in something like Bitcoin. And you may say, well, that's highly speculative. It's dangerous. Well, yes and no. The recent demand, the fact that it has become a huge asset, it's a new asset class, and it's being adopted quickly. It's now currently at, what's the market cap on that? It's over $2 trillion market cap. It's a legitimate player. It's being adopted, and that's not going anywhere. And you may say, well, to yourself, well, you know, it's a scam. I've heard all this shit. But, well, what's this? I mean, what's the U.S. dollar backed by? It's backed by our good faith in the government. It went off the gold standard in 71. Nixon, you know, their administration took the dollar off the gold standard. So it's only backed by faith. And then think about what happened in 2008. They printed more of this to bail out the banks. That increased it more. We can see right here. Look at that. This is during COVID. But just during COVID, the U.S. money supply grew by $3.8 trillion in 2020, equal to 20% of all dollars ever created. Guys, big beautiful bill. It's at $37 trillion now. They're going to print $4 trillion more. Okay? You want to be in hard assets. There's only going to be 21 million Bitcoin. But you might say, well, what backs Bitcoin? And here's what we got. Scarcity, okay? It can't just be, you know, debased. There's only going to be 21 million. And the demand is growing. Utility, it's divisible into tiny slices. You can't do that with gold. And you can send it around the world and no one can stop you. Decentralized, that's a big issue. There's no one single issuer. This is global. It's the largest computer network in the world. We're in a digital era. What's the value of that, guys? They can't confiscate it either. You can put it on a hard wallet and carry billions of dollars and transfer it for a couple bucks to send it all around the world. Think about it. Think about it. Then you have this. Energy, okay? Energy also is another big factor. What does it take to create one? It's using massive compute power, right? That energy, if you can extract the value of energy into basically anything to get a value, okay? And then there's cryptography, okay? And just so you guys who are super concerned about, you know, quantum computing, well, guess what? If this is way more difficult to crack, and if they end up, you know, getting to that level of quantum computing, well, everything else will be absolutely fucked by that stage, okay, guys? So that's you don't need to worry about it. Next thing, let's look at the demand. We got this. I've been talking about this. First of all, we got massive ETF demand. It is the fastest growing asset ever, okay? And now we got these public traded companies that are, you know, corporations that are buying Bitcoin because they know that holding ice cube, I mean, the dollar is like holding a melting ice cube. It's like holding it in your hand on a hot day. It's just melting, okay? So these companies, these corporations are using their cash reserves, buying Bitcoin and putting it in their treasuries, and it is going off the chart. And it's global, guys. If you remember, if you look at my video from before, not that long ago, it was only at like 250. This thing is growing quickly. Demand. Here's another thing, if that doesn't make you bullish. Morgan Stanley. They are a monster, okay? I don't know if you guys know it, but in the financial world, these guys are big, okay? 1.5 trillion Morgan Stanley will launch Bitcoin buying on E-Trade soon, so there you go. 10 million customers, it's coming. So more people are going to have access to it. If you haven't seen my video about game theory, about how that works, go and check it out. But essentially, in a nutshell, it's what it comes down to is at some point there's a tipping point where as a sovereign nation or as a large corporation or as a hedge, if you're not involved in it, you are taking massive risk. And people then vie to get a piece of something. And this is highly scarce. And as more people step in to try to get a piece of that pie, it's going to cause a squeeze. The demand will cause a squeeze, and it will cause the price to absolutely rip, guys. And that's going to happen. When? I don't know. But I can bet you, looking at the long-term trend, it's going to happen, guys. There's no doubt about it in my mind. It's been going on now. And that will continue. So you need to be looking at that. Okay, the next thing that I wanted to talk about is also Tesla. And I know you guys, you might hate Elon. I get it. I think he's a creep too, but I'm not going to ignore his business. So let's look at why you might want to be looking at Tesla. Okay. So, Tesla, guys, it has a piece in 4 major technology disruptors. I mean, I'm talking massive disruption on a scale that we haven't seen before. If you haven't read the book, The Fourth Turning, go check it out. It talks about historical disruptions in which society is impacted, and we are on the verge of that with the AI, digital, robotics. It is about to massively disrupt society. So, one AI. We got Grok. I did a video on that recently. Tesla's involved with Grok. Okay? Big one. They got huge sums of data scraping off of X along with whatever it can scrape off the internet. It is huge. The test scores that it had recently blew everything away. Can't ignore it. Okay? Then we have the fully self-driving and the robotaxi. And guys, not just the robotaxi, but anybody's Tesla, they're going to be able to eventually just, pay for the subscription, which is novel in itself. Think about that. Before, when you sold cars, all you did was just, you bought the car, then you might have to buy parts. Well, with fully self-driving aspect, they're going to be paying for a subscription, which will increase the revenue model. And that is going to be massively disruption. And then the big thing is the scaling issue. Tesla's positioned way better than all the other ones to scale. I mean, it's already built into their cars. They've been collecting data for many, 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 many years. They're ahead of it. Then we have energy and their mega pack business, and it's being able to scale. That one also has these huge factories, and this is going to be in demand, guys. As we go into the AI revolution, digital revolution, where everything is even being done more today by computing, they're going to need massive amounts of power, guys. They're going to need power up the yin-yang. And in today's current electrical grid, they lose massive amounts of power every day because it's geared towards peak use. So what they're going to be doing is the mega pack is going to be able to step in and store that energy, and it's able to scale. Okay, another big one. And then we got the whole Optimus in robotics. Version 3 is incoming. If you guys haven't looked at it, go into YouTube and look at it. Look at Optimus robots, Tesla. It is amazing, the dexterity in its hands, the things that it's doing. That's another massive potential disruptor, where in terms of just many things, and not only in production, but in potentially even like healthcare and having people around take care of you, making you food, serving you drinks, whatever. It's huge, guys. Now, all 4 of these are nearing the S-curve, and if you're not familiar with what an S-curve is, this is what it looks like. And it's nearing the S-curve when things begin to go exponential. So this is the S-curve, and you see this is like the adoption line of what would be happening. And my guess is we are probably somewhere either in here, either in these 3 blocks right here. We're somewhere in this zone right here, guys. It is about to go insano. You will need to be involved. If you don't have a piece of this, you might just get left behind. Really important. You need to be invested, not just to thrive, but to survive. All right, there you go. Have it, guys. Hope you're all doing well, and Monger on.